Presidential candidate Ted Cruz speaking exclusively to the intelligence report this week about immigration reform, Donald Trump, the Obama economy, and the American dream. We wanted to bring you the rest of that interview, the part where I asked him about some of the intel I got from a recent trip to my home state of New Hampshire, where I heard from members of both parties. They were there comparing him to a very divisive lawmaker, Joe McCarthy, members of both parties, Republican and Democrats. And they said not only does he look like McCarthy, but members of Cruz's own party don't trust him. Here was his response to that criticism.
Well, you know, Trish, I've got a new book that came out last week that's called A Time for Truth. And what it does is it shines a light on what's happening in Washington. And I talk a lot about what I call the Washington cartel, which consists of career politicians in both parties, Democrats and Republicans, who get in bed with lobbyists and special interests. You know, have you ever noticed that it seems whichever party's in power, government grows and grows and grows, our debt grows and grows and grows, regulations grow and grow and grow, and our liberty continually recedes? It is not surprising that members of the Washington cartel, that career politicians lash out at me and attack me. That's okay. If you're trying to change Washington, Washington will fight back. But I'll tell you, across this country, working men and women are fed up with the bipartisan corruption of Washington that Hillary Clinton embodies. And the way we win in 2016 is we run a populist campaign of hardworking men and women who want to believe again in the promise of America, and we run it against the corrupt Washington system of picking winners and losers. You know, 6 of the 10 wealthiest counties in this country are in and around Washington, D.C. The rich have gotten richer under Barack Obama, and young people, Hispanics, African Americans, single moms, that's who I'm fighting for, the people who want to achieve the American dream.
Senator, just to jump in there, because we're almost out of time. I'm curious. I mean, you talk about the Washington cartel, and you're trying to fight all of that and mobilize people to be excited about this election. Would you consider running as an independent if you are not elected?
No.
Absolutely
no,
not.
I'm a Republican under no circumstances. But I do think, how do you beat the Washington cartel? And we actually have history as a guide. In the late 70s, Ronald Reagan rode a grassroots wave that became the Reagan Revolution, and it beat the Washington cartel. It transformed Washington, D.C. He took on career politicians in both parties who Washington despised Reagan. If you look at that election, the kind of attacks you just read that career politicians are leveling at me, that's exactly what they said about Reagan. But we, the people, are stronger. I got to tell you, in just 3 months of our campaign, we've had 175,000 contributions at tedcruz.org, tedcruz.org. We've raised over $52 million, not from the Washington lobbyists, but from we the people, because the American people are ticked off for the corruption, and they want someone who will tell them the truth and who'll do what he said he would do.
I'll tell you, if there's any place that you don't need money to run a campaign, it's New Hampshire, because you can go door to door. You can meet everyone. It's a small place, a small state, and it believes in grassroots politics. So if he's got a shot, it's there rather than anywhere else.